Hey everyone. Have you ever really stopped to think about the promise we make with every single package that leaves this building? It's a huge deal, and it's something that connects all of us. So today, we're going to break down one super simple standard that helps us protect that promise.
So let's start right there with the big question. When a customer clicks that buy button, what are they really trusting us to deliver? What is that fundamental promise we're making?
You got it. A perfect product every single time. That's it. That's the bar we set for ourselves. It's basically our entire reputation inside a cardboard box. And that's exactly why we need to talk about a hidden threat to that promise.
Okay, so to deliver on that promise, we've got to face this sort of hidden danger in our process. It's one of those problems that seems small, right? But believe me, its impact is huge. The good news is the fix is actually pretty simple. So the whole problem really comes down to this one thing we call a split case item. And don't worry, all that means is any single item that's been taken out of its main shipping box. Think about a single bottle of shampoo, one book, or a toy that's no longer in that big master carton. This is the exact moment our quality promise can start to get a little wobbly. And right here, this is the gap we absolutely have to close. On one hand, our goal is to present every single item in perfect, saleable condition. But the reality, well, you've seen it. Too often, these individual items are just sitting out, unprotected, right on top of dusty, dirty racking. That's a huge disconnect between our promise and what's actually happening.
And that disconnect, it has real consequences. This is not just some minor housekeeping thing. It is a direct path from a perfectly good product on a shelf to something we literally have to throw in the scrap pile. Let's walk through how that happens. Yeah, it's like this quiet chain of damage. It all starts when an item gets placed on some bare pallet wood or a dusty shelf. Over time, it just collects grime. Then it gets scuffed up, marked, damaged. And here's the kicker. When that dirty item finally gets picked, it goes into a clean tote, which, guess what? Isn't clean anymore. The contamination just spreads. And this is the end result. This is a direct quote from one of our own quality checks. The product becomes dirty and marked beyond repair and sale. We're not talking about a little dust you can just wipe off. This is permanent damage. It's done.
So the costs of this are real, and they hit us in three major ways. First, and this is the obvious one, we're throwing away money with every wasted product. Second, we're risking our reputation with unhappy customers who get something that isn't perfect. And third, it just creates extra frustrating work for our own teams who have to stop and clean stuff, which slows the whole system down. And all of this is completely avoidable.
But, okay, here's the good news. Because the problem is so simple, the solution is just as simple. It's a new mindset, a new standard that we're calling our excellent standard.
The whole idea, the guiding principle, it couldn't be easier to remember. Protect every item. That's it, no exceptions. If an item is out of its big master case, it needs some kind of layer between it and whatever surface it's on. That's the entire philosophy.
So what does this look like day to day? Well, the before state is what we're moving away from. Items sitting right on bare wood or dusty metal. The excellent standard, that's our new reality. Items are either kept in their original packaging, or if they have to come out, they are always placed on a protective layer, like a clean plastic bag. Simple as that.
Look, a standard is just an idea on a slide until we all put it into practice. And this is where you come in, because your role is, without a doubt, the most critical part of making this whole thing work.
I want you to remember this. When you're picking, when you're stowing, when you're packing, you are the last line of defense for our product quality. You are the one who makes sure that our promise of a perfect product is actually kept. That is a huge responsibility, and you have all the power to make it happen.
And it all comes down to a really simple four-step habit. First, you spot an unprotected item. Second, you protect it. Seriously, it takes 2 seconds to slide it onto a plastic bag. Third, if you see any dust, just give it a quick clean before it moves on. And finally, if an item is already damaged, please don't just pass the problem down the line. Report it to the inventory team so we can handle it the right way. Spot, protect, clean, report. That's the whole playbook.
So let's just boil it down one last time. The do list. Always place loose items on plastic. Clean them if they look dusty, and report any damage you see. The don't list is just as important. Never leave items on dirty surfaces. Don't unbox them just to sit them on a rack. And most importantly, never ever ignore a problem. If you see it, you own it. So you see, this isn't really about some new rule. It's about a shared commitment to being excellent.
And it all boils down to this one simple question. The next time you grab an item, just think about that customer. Think about our promise. How will you be the one to protect it?